Hi, in this video, you will learn how to use fragments, a concept of Thymeleaf, the default template engine used by Spring Boot. We need to use fragments to make reusable code snippets or fragments that are used by pages in the application. And by using fragments, we can reduce code duplication, improve code readability, and increase code maintainability. This picture helps you understand the concept of fragments in Thymeleaf. We put a reusable code snippet into a single HTML file, and each snippet is called a fragment. You see, in this fragments.html file, there are three fragments, and in each page in the application, it uses fragments. Here you see. So the concept of fragments is very simple. We put reusable code snippets called fragments in a single HTML file, and as a basis, use fragments from this file. And this picture has to understand how to use fragments in Thymeleaf. In the HTML file that contains fragments reusable code snippets, we define each code snippet in a div section and assign the name for the fragment here using the attribute th:\fragment. So you can see in this HTML file there are three fragments with three different names: header, menu, and footer. And in a specific page in the application, we use a fragment like this: th replace, and then the name of the fragment file, fragments.html here, and then the name of a fragment section in the file: header, menu, footer, and footer. So you see, it's very easy to use fragments in Thymeleaf. This is a Spring Boot project in Spring 2 Sui IDE. And let me show you how I use fragments in this Spring Boot project. In the templates directory, I have several HTML files here, as you can see. And this is a fragment file, header.html, and in this HTML file, I include several code snippets which are reusable, which are shared across pages in the application. And you can see in this fragment, it has the name html_head that contains the code for the head section of the HTML document. As you can see, title, script for the query, for bootstrap, for Phantasm, and I also have another fragment named header here, header, for the menu and navigation bar of the application here. And I also have another fragment file, footer.html, and in this fragment I have only one code snippet, one fragment with the name footer that contains the code for the footer of the application. And in the pages of the application, in the index homepage, I use the fragments like this. You see, for the head of the document, I use the fragment from the header.html here, header.html, and then followed by the name of the fragment, html_head here, html_head here. And similarly, I use the fragment for menu, fragment for footer, and the same, similar for other pages. Here you see header, and footer here. Users here you see header, HTML head, and header of the application, and footer, as you can see. Now I start this Spring Boot application to let you see its user interface. And as you can see, this Spring Boot application, we run embedded Tomcat server listening on port 8080 with the context path is /submit-admin, and I use Chrome browser to access our Spring Boot application. Localhost port 8080 submit-admin, and you can see this is a header. Uh, contains the navigation bar, the menu items, and this is the footer, contains the copyright statement. You see, this is the user page, and you can see the header here, and the menu, the footer here. You see, similarly for other pages, categories, brands, products. And now let me show you how to use fragments to make the code of this application more compact, more readability, and more maintainability. So as you see, this is a user list page, and you can see in each list page we have the pagination section. For example, the user list page here, we have the pagination section here. You see, in the category species, category page, we have the pagination here, and in the brands section, brands list page, we have the pagination here. And this is a code. You see, this is a user's HTML page, and you see this is a code section for the pagination in the user list page, and in the category list page we also have the same code for the pagination, and also in the brands list page we have the code section for the pagination here. So the code for the pagination section for all pages are very similar. The only difference is in the URL, the name of the type of domain type, brands, categories, and users. So now let's write update the code to get a fragment file and to use fragment to reduce the code duplication. So let's create a new HTML file here as a we can copy code of the this file, footer.html. Copy, paste, name the file as fragments.html. Open it, fragments.html. This HTML files will contain reusable code snippets or fragments which are used across the pages in the application. Now we copy the code for the pagination section here. Cut and paste here. And we specify a div section with attribute th fragment, and then the name of the fragment is pagination. closing div tag. As you can see, in the pagination section we have two div blocks. The first block showing you see showing the current numbers of items, showing brands from 1 to 5 or 10 here, and then the navigation pagination buttons here. So we need to use only is a code inside the fragment block, not including the host tag div here. Let me show you how. Now let's use this fragment in the user list page here. We use this syntax div th replace, and then the fragment file name is fragments, and then double colons, and then the name of a fragment section is pagination in the fragment file here. Pagination here, and inside the div block here is a static text pagination. This text will be displayed when viewing this HTML file in static mode. Okay, that's it. Save the changes, and now we can refresh the user list page. And we have the same result. And let's view the page source. Scroll down to see the pagination section, and you see we have here, this is the start of the inclusion of the fragment. Here we have the hosting tag div here, closing tag here. We don't want to include the host div tag here, so in the fragment file we can specify this attribute th remove equal tag to remove this host tag when it is included. Save the changes and refresh. View page source again, and you will see this is a section for the pagination. Yeah, and you can see the host div tag was removed from the generated page. That exactly what we expect. And let's update the fragment to parameterize something here. So this fragment can be used by different pages. You can see we need to parameterize the type of the domain users here, so it can be used in categories, brands, products. The only difference is this. So here we, in the fragment name here, we declare the variable name here. For example, item name, and we replace users here by the variable of the value of the variable item name here, using Thymeleaf syntax as the item name. Here you see, and we copy and paste. Yeah. Sorry. Okay, and in the including file users here, we need to specify value here. Item name equal users. Then the actual value users here will be replaced in the fragment item name here. Now let's update the user list page and try to test the pagination. See, page 3, page 4, page 5, first page, last page. Awesome, it works as expected. So then we can use this fragment in different pages. For example, categories here. We delete this code and use fragment div th replace fragments is a file name, and then pagination is the name of a fragment. Pagination, and we pass value for the item name variable is categories. That's it, and now we can refresh the categories list page and test the pagination. Second page, okay. First page, okay. And we can copy and paste this code for the list of branch page here. So we will see with fragments we can reduce duplication, lot of code, and increase the code readability and maintainability. And we pass the value here is branch. And refresh the list of brands here and test. We have double this line, so we need to delete this one. Okay, and refresh. Second page, first page. Awesome, right? And in the code you can see in each list page we have a small code snippet as a placeholder for the modal dialog, as you can see here in categories modal dialog model. So you can see the duplicated code. So we move this code section into a fragment here, fragments, and we declare the second fragment div th fragment, and the name is standard underscore model last model underscore dialog, and we paste the code here. You can see you can specify the fragment name right inside this div section to use the host tag here. Okay, you see, and when including these attributes will be included as well in the same tag with the fragment tag, and we use this fragment in other pages in users here, and we use the same syntax as above. If th replace equal fragments and modal underscore dialog modal dialog. Okay, that's it. And let's test the user list page. The modal dialog will be displayed. When we click the edit and delete button here, you can see the modal dialog gets display normally. So we can copy the same code here to use fragments in the category list page here. So we see with fragment we can reduce duplicate code a lot, increase the code readability and code maintainability. You see. So far so good. Similarly, you can see in each list page there's a similar section, the filter search section here in the list user list category filter search section, a list of brands here, and this is the code for that section. You can see in the brands list page we have the section for the search or filter here. Also in the users list page here, you see the only difference is the URL for the action of the form. So we can copy this, move this code into a fragment, cut, and create another fragment here. Paste the code, and here we specify the fragment name is search, and we need to parameterize the URL here. So we declare a variable here, URL, and we want to remove the host tag. So we use this attribute ts::remove tag, and here we replace the value of the URL with the value of this parameter URL here. Okay. And in the user list page we use that fragment, and if th replace and then the fragment file name fragments double colon, and then the fragment name is search, and pass the value for the parameter URL equal search. Let's see, this user slash request. Yeah, okay. Okay, save the changes and let's test the filter function in the list users again. Name, name. Okay, it works normally, clear. And so we can copy and paste the code to use fragment for other pages in the categories. You can see the URL in the search form of the category here. So we copy and paste, pass into the URL parameter of the fragment here, and delete this code. So you can see with fragment we reduce a lot of duplication, and we do the same for brands, list of brands here, the URL for listing in the search form of brand here, and we delete the duplicate code. Okay, now test search filter brand again, Honda, you see, in categories, office. Okay, it works normally. So that you have learned how to use fragments in Thymeleaf in a Spring Boot project, and I'll also share with you some practical example in the Spring Boot project. And when the application goes bigger, more complex, we can have multiple HTML files for the fragments. As you can see, two HTML files for fragments, and then the other best using fragments in this fragment files. I hope you found this video helpful. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share. Thank you.